First you go be the bad guy, then you go be the actor. Because I want feed my family, now me.
Building collapse is a major challenge in the real estate and construction industry. Right now, I'm on site and I'm bringing in a structural engineer. His name is Engineer Emmanuel Victory. I had to come to one of their sites at Awoyaya for him to tell us, for him to educate us, and I'm here with my notes to ask him some vital questions that will help us and that will educate us on what to look out for. So he's going to be talking about he's going to be talking on the topic on structural integrity of a building and how it improves the lifespan of your building. I want you to welcome Engineer Emmanuel Victory.
It's nice meeting you, Miracle. Well done. Nice meeting you, Miracle.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been a
nice
while.
meeting you
I've been going
too.
through your videos and it has been amazing.
Really,
Yeah,
it's
thank you
nice
very
to
much.
hear that.
You're welcome.
Okay, I'm with my notes here and I'm with my notes here and I'm going to be asking Engineer Emmanuel some amazing questions. He's going to be teaching us about structural integrity of buildings and how it affects the lifespan of our buildings or an investment. You know, the buildings are your investment. Now, let's ask him these questions. The first question I'm going to ask him is this. Engineer Emmanuel, what can you actually say about the building collapse in Lagos, Nigeria?
Okay, the building collapse in Lagos, Nigeria is something that no engineer is actually excited about because I'm an engineer, so an average engineer should not be excited that there are building failures in Nigeria. But I think for what it means to me, it's opportunity to learn and then to do it better the next time. So for every building collapse, I have this natural interest to just know, okay, what caused the collapse? What could have caused the collapse? Is it a defective design? Is it materials? Is it foundation failure? Is it clients? Is it human factor? Just as you spoke earlier. So those are the things that comes to mind. But for every building collapse, I see it as an opportunity to learn and then to do it better the next time.
Thank you so much for that. What are the major causes why buildings fail? Because right here we are one of at your site at Awoyaya. So I want you to explain briefly the major causes why building fail.
Okay, there are a lot of causes why building fails, but the major causes why building fail, I think you mentioned some earlier in your video. You say human factor, materials, poor supervision or lack of supervision, giving most time giving job to people that are not skilled, artisans, giving job to artisans that are not skilled. So you see, most times clients will give job to Baba Biliki. He has been building for other neighbors. Let him build for me too. They feel engineers are not important or their fees are expensive. So most times, those are the kind of things that causes the building failure.
What is the solution to this building collapse? Because today's topic, we're going to be talking about structural integrity. So I want you to give us a solution regarding the area of structural integrity.
Okay. Regarding the area of structural integrity now.
First of all, tell us what is structural integrity and other things.
Okay, structural integrity. These are a series of tests that are carried out to determine the integrity of a particular structure. So there are different types of structural integrity. Like for pies, they have what they call pie integrity test. That is the PIT test. For buildings, they have structural integrity test. Most times to check to actually verify the grade of your concrete. That's the grade now for a layman is the strength of your concrete, and then most times if there are voids in your concrete when you cast it, and so these are tests that you carry out to basically if your building is made up of concrete and steel. Blocks are minor, so your building are made up of concrete and steel. So these tests are carried out to check if the particular strength that was specified by the structural engineer was actually followed on site. So that's what those tests are designed.
Okay, what should be the average lifespan for a building?
Okay, a building that is well constructed under over every normal circumstances, the lifespan is 100 years. So the lifespan for every building is 100 years. But that does not mean that your building cannot go defective after 100 years. You know, once in a while, maybe after about some years, you may want to do little renovations here and there. But the lifespan of a building is 100 years. So after 100 years, you can.
Okay. How do you determine the foundation type of a particular structure or for a particular building? Because this relates to why the collapse of a building.
Okay, yes. There are actually various ways to determine the kind of foundation you use for a particular building. First of all, as an engineer, once you should go to a particular site or any new site, what you need is the details from the soil report that the geotechnical engineer will prepare. So I feel for a construction site, the first set of people to get to site are the geotechnical guys. So these guys come to check your site to determine. They are the ones that determine, okay, this foundation type is suitable for your site, the place, your land that you have bought. So that's it. The geotechnical guys are the one that determine the kind of foundation you use for your structures.
Can you mention the foundation types we have for
Okay,
your
I
buildings?
won't actually go deep, but there are two types of foundation. There are deep foundations and shallow foundations. But let's just keep it surface. We just have normal. We have raft foundation. Basically, the normal ones we see around. We have raft foundation. We have strip foundation. We have pile foundation. We have pile raft foundation.
Okay.
Mm.
How do we carry out this integrity test? Can you list out all procedures or some of the procedures when carrying out a structural integrity test for a
Okay, I
building?
won't list out all the procedure
Do you
because
know
I'm
why I had
actually
to ask
selling
this
my
question?
no.
I had to ask this question because
Mm.
um I had to ask these procedures. I know there are a lot of procedures, but I had to ask this question mainly for those that are buying fully built houses. They don't monitor what is on site. Can you just give us an hint? Because we plan on doing a webinar separate, in-depth discussion and in-depth webinar for this. But let him just give us an hint because this is an interesting topic. Thank you.
Okay. Miracle is actually stealing my knowledge now, but I'm going to let's do this for free. Okay. So basically, let's talk about a duplex structure. So you just bought this very beautiful looking duplex, very looking aesthetically pleasing, and then you are worried with the rate of building collapse in Lagos State. Is this building really safe? So what should I actually do to at least let your mind calm down? So you should have this rest of mind that okay, I'm actually buying what is good, what is quality, and all that. So I think one of the tests you do, basically, I told you basically what you check for structural integrity is your concrete and your steel. So one of the ways to check your concrete, there are, I can say there are three or four ways I know. There's one, the compressive strength test of concrete. Then basically, so that one is used to determine the grade of concrete. The grade means the strength of concrete. But if you have already built your structure already, one of the this thing you use, let's call it the rebound hammer test. So a rebound hammer is an instrument very small. It's just like the way, like the name implies, rebound hammer. It's a very small instrument. Like it can be like your phone. You press it against your particular structural member, maybe your column, your beams, or your slab, and then it takes some set of readings like that. So the guy, the technician that is coming to carry out the test, analyze everything, and then he will give you the grade of that particular structural member. So you will try to tally the grade of that particular structural member to what the structural engineer specified when he was producing the structural drawing. But most times for okay, so for one floored structure, that is more like a duplex kind of structure now. Like I was saying, a concrete grade of 20 is actually sufficient for the structural members. Most time for residential structures, because majorly the loads you are expecting for a residential structure is not that much as compared to commercial structures. So one floor structure that is taking grade 20, a commercial structure, maybe a shopping mall, might take something higher since we are expecting more loads on it. So that's it. So you try to verify the grade of concrete that the integrity guys give to you against what the structural engineer specified. If it's more, you are safe. If it's less, you're in trouble.
Okay, I don't know if you understand those procedures. It's actually for engineers. You know, I'm an engineer as well, but in materials and metallurgical engineer, so I understand some of what he's saying. So if you don't understand, don't worry. We are bringing up a webinar for this particular topic, talking about structural integrity, and you will be excited. Like it's very, very interesting, even both for engineers, but it comes with a fee. There's that particular one because he's going to tell you everything. He's sharing his knowledge for you, but it's affordable. It's just what you used to buy ice cream, you know. So the next question is this: what is the economic impact carrying out a structural integrity?
Okay, there are lots of it. First of all, having rest of mind in this in our Lagos, where most times we just wake up to hear building collapse up and there, up and down and all that. So it gives you this assurance that okay, the building I'm buying is quality, though it's fine, but it's also still quality. And then it gets to save the developers of the property. It gets to save them money because a defective building is not cheap to maintain at all. So most times the money you are actually running away from and while you are cutting down the quality of your materials, you actually get to spend times two of it when your building becomes defective. Second of all, Lagos State, these guys, this lab scar guy, Lagos State Building Control Agencies, they're always on patrol on site. And then if they should come and notice a defective structure in your building, you're bringing it down. Like there's no two-way discussion about it. And so that is a major loss for the client. So I think we should just get it right from the initial start so as to avoid more cost on our buildings. So that's it.
Okay, sorry for that. The last question we're going to be asking Engineer Emmanuel is this: what professional advice would you give to investors or future landlords and landladies concerning their buildings or when building their building as regards structural integrity? For instance, now let me imagine that I'm an investor and I want to invest in a 10 floor story building. If the building collapses, I'm going to lose a lot of money. And God forbid, if I'm there, I'm also going to, that is debt. So, what professional advice would you give to investors specifically? What advice would you give to landladies like me?
Okay, okay. Quick on professional advice for those that want to own properties or are already owning properties. Most time, before you develop your structures, contract, give the job to professionals to do. Let's stop the habit of Baba Biliki is a bricklayer. He has built for my friend before. He can also build for me. So not how long. Most times I get to encounter these men. They will say, "I've been doing it for the past 20 years. I've been doing it before you are born." But man of God, you have been doing the wrong thing for the past 20 years. So let's try to give out our jobs to professionals. And then even at that you give your job to professional, let there be third party and a third party consulting firm that also come to check your job for you at different time intervals. Okay, now I've given my job to a contractor. I trust him. Quite all right, but still engage the services of a third party engineering consultancy firm to always come around to always carry out checks on your building. So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Emmanuel.
Thanks so much.
This is not the last question, sorry. I want to ask you something. It doesn't relate to this topic we're talking about, but I want to ask you, lands on this island, more especially Awoyaya, Ibejuleki VI, down to this area. There was a time we were talking about this building stuff, and you said something about you might get a land cheaper, and the soil it's not so good, then but you spend a lot for the foundation stuff, then
Okay, okay.
then Ekpe lands, this clay soil. So what can you say about that? Like, are you really encouraging we should prioritize the soil, or we shouldn't bother about that? When the time comes, we're going to be talking about the expenses of the foundation and all of that.
Okay, what can I say? What can I say? Okay, obviously everyone knows that lands in Ekpe are far better than lands in Ekpe is closer to Ogun State, so let's call it mainland. It's better than land on this place, and that is because of cost of foundation. So that's where the advantage of getting land in dry lands come. So when you buy a land, the place that is dry, the cost of foundation is totally reduced. So
Okay.
you will notice that for most foundations around the Awuyaya, Ibeju axis, they are all pied foundation. Pied foundations are very expensive. So they are very expensive and they require geotechnical expertise. But for foundations in Ekpe, you need little on the foundations that are just merely strip foundations for bungalow structures and normal foundations for duplex structures. So that is why. So basically, just the impact is on the cost of your foundation, and then so that is it.
Okay, thank you very much, Engineer Ima. Stay there. Thank you so much. Do you know what he's trying to say? He's trying to say the soil is different. So if you're looking at, you don't want to waste much money on foundation, come and meet me, buy land at Ekpe. But if you're talking about you don't care about the cost of the foundation, whatever the soil is, maybe you're looking at the economic importance, how you get your money very fast in the nearest future, then you can still talk to us. Talk to I and Engineer Ima. So thank you very much for watching this episode of structural integrity of a building and how it affects the lifespan of a building. Stay tuned on the next series because we are going to be talking about, guess what? Guess this thing. We are going to be talking about, should we bring in the services of a quantity surveyor? Have you ever wondered if you should buy a land? Like you've seen a lot of land on the streets of Instagram, Facebook. Oh, I want to buy this. I want to. You've been saving the video before when you want to buy it. It has already appreciated. You've been thinking, if I should buy this land, what will I even use it to buy? I found you a structural engineer that can put together the costs, what it will cost to build anything you want. Whether you want to build kind of an hostel lodge, the calculation, he can do it for you. Thank you very much for watching this episode. And till the next series, we'll meet again. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you.